what do I say? Most of these issues you all know. And I was wondering, I don't know, or you, my colleagues, you are more in this business than I am. I don't know whether any one of you can say that in your findings, in your publications, that when the assembly was pulled down, that somebody like Goodluck Jonathan made a statement. He didn't. It was also an affront to democracy. I was chief of staff between 2012 and 2015. I served under the TDP government. You all know the case of police commissioner who was deployed deliberately for Rivers State, CP Joseph Umbo. At that period, there was lawlessness, complete one. The only difference was that it was the state fighting the state. The commissioner of police could tell the governor of the state, who has immunity, that your movement will be this route and not the other route. He said it's the leopard that came to tame the lion. Those were under Jonathan. Thank God for our resilience. But there was nothing uncomfortable or worse than uncomfortable that we didn't experience. The assembly complex was taken over by armored personnel carriers and gun-trotting security men. Our assembly members deliberately or literally sat on the floor to legislate outside the confines of the assembly because they cannot access it. They sat down on the streets of Port Harcourt to legislate. We didn't hear anything. We didn't hear anything from Mr. President then. Then he knew more abundantly that there was that scenario in Rivers State. We're also not unaware of the fact that the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, in his time, also declared state of emergency in 3 states of this country. What some people now say is that the suspension of the governor and assembly members is wrong. But thank God that I hear that the Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum, is approaching the Supreme Court. I'm sure you know that there has been no legislation whatsoever on the matter. Now that they have gone to the Supreme Court, it will enrich whatever the outcome is, will enrich our jurisprudence. I don't want to take on individuals, but I hear the NBA have come out to say, oh, it's an affront on democracy and all that, when the assembly complex was pulled down. When it was bombed, and the next other day, 11 equipments were deployed to the assembly to bring it down. 11. NBA was alive. We didn't hear anything from them. So one wonders why this plenty talk. So and it's good that they are opposing the court, and so we should allow the Supreme Court to decide on the actions of Mr. President. What else do I discuss? My people, I know as much that as journalists, you are to be seen as neutral. Their role is to introduce the matter and get the opinions of parties. But when you introduce the matter and you give the finality of it doesn't make sense. I'm not here to cast aspersions on some of the things we hear. But I must note that no one individual can be said to be a compendium of knowledge. Not even one. I listen to somebody I hold in high esteem, Dr. Ruben Abati. And he was saying on national television that anyone that argues negatively, that is against his own opinion, is either an imbecile or an illiterate. I'm sure you could listen, you heard national television. And I wonder what that meant. That is, he is know all and do all. His name is knowledge. It's unheard of. I haven't seen that. I haven't heard that kind of thing in my whole life. What I know is that knowledge is not a thing that you hold in your hands. Knowledge is a universal concept. And from where your own knowledge stops, begins another. So that's why we believe that it is cross-fertilization of ideas that lead to the churning out of new knowledge. You don't need to be bellicose to push your point. You want to fight. You don't need to be bellicose. I'm not aware that bellicosity is part of journalism. I'm not aware of that. So, my dear people, so that I'll stand to take questions from you, I want you to generate the questions. The truth of the matter is that Rivers State was headed towards anarchy. And you all know that Rivers State is one of the states that sustain this country. Some of these people who are shouting, oh, President did this, President did that, would have also been the same persons who would have said, oh, you had all this at your fingertips and you did nothing. People boasted to mayhem. And I told you here that non-state actors were brandishing sophisticated ammunitions and clearly saying that if the governor was impeached, that were threatening brimstone and fire. A political matter became ethnicized. People say, oh, we're John, we're this, how can we won't sit to see you remove our own brother? But I wish that they also were in sync or in knowledge of how that their brother became governor. He could not have. He's from Opobo. If you know Opobo in River State, it's not even one local government. We call it Opobo Nkoro local government. Their voting strength is not over 30,000. You can go and make your investigation. The voting strength of that local government is not up to 30,000. And I challenge you to go and make that inquiry. And you're talking about other LGAs that even a ward produces more than 50,000. A ward, not the LGA now. But he became governor by divine providence, by the hard work of somebody. They all became members of his family, political family. Maybe I should just allude a bit to the issues of people are saying, oh, you removed the governor, or you suspended the governor, suspended the assembly. Why didn't you suspend the minister of federal capital? Was he in the fray? The answer is no. If bringing him to the fray is because he is the leader of that political structure, then you may be right. The 32 assembly members were produced, sponsored by the former governor of Rivers State, now Minister of Federal Capital Territory, His Excellency Wike, CON. The election was one day as House of Reps, rather, Assembly and governorship. Are you not aware of what happened? That the same group also threw up the governor of the state. So if you want to get him to the fray, that is the only reason you can or you should. The other point we make is that, and I've said that here for you, that Fubara, Governor Fubara, was Wike's political investment. I've said that many times. So. What happens to you when you have made an investment? Should you allow the investment to fly away or to explode? And in politics, I'm talking about even in economics, in politics, it is heavy, if not impossible, for someone to allow you dismantle his political structure. So they are all members of the same party. We have APC, they are members of a party called PDP. So for those who are calling for his suspension and all that, they are not getting the point right. That man had been at the epicenter of peace. How do we resolve this matter? But the governor became so hydra-headed. His head became bigger than his pillow. He had some people who told him, you have the red pen. You are know all and do all. You can make or unmake with your red pen. And I'm sure some of you saw him on the program where he brought the red pen. Say, this is the red pen. He's still with me. This is what they are after. I still have it. I don't know where the red pen has dried up now. Or maybe before 6 months. The red pen may dry up. So, my people, like I said to you, my business here is to brief the party and to thank the party. The National Policy Secretary of our party is a great man. He had at every twist and turn defended our party, defended Mr. President on this matter. So we will, what Arise does every day now is that for the past 1 week, this is the matter in the front burner. And they will necessarily and deliberately bring people who are anti Mr. President and anti the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. We are all here. You are witnesses to what is going on in the state, in FCT.